Let's do some quick math. In the average football game, you're seeing 11 drives per team per game. That means that there are 22 drives in the average football game. There have been 217 games played on Thanksgiving. So if you do a rough estimate, there have been over 4,700 drives that happen on Thanksgiving. Because of overtime and whatnot, let's just make that a nice, easy number to remember and round that up to 5,000. Of the nearly 5,000 drives that have taken place on Thanksgiving, there have been a lot of good ones, a lot of bad ones, and a lot of ugly ones. Determining the best drive in the history of Thanksgiving is tough. There have been drives that won games, drives that went for touchdowns, drives that went the length of the field, and drives that seem improbable. But what if I told you that not only did I find the greatest drive in the history of this holiday, but that this drive didn't even end with any points scored? This is the story of the greatest drive in the history of Thanksgiving. First, we need some context behind the drive in question. It's November 28th, 2002, and the Detroit Lions are playing a very special Thanksgiving game. Not only is it their annual Turkey Day game, but it's their very first Thanksgiving game at Ford Field. After spending over a quarter century playing their games in the Pontiac Silverdome, they were now playing in their brand new stadium. And to open up this venue on the Thanksgiving holiday, they were taking on none other than the defending Super Bowl champion New England Patriots. Detroit had dropped 3 straight and their season was done after a 3-8 start, while the Patriots were winners of 3 of their last 4, and were on a pretty good track to make it back to the postseason and defend their title. This seemed like a complete mismatch on paper. Even though the Lions won 34-9 just 2 years ago when the teams met on Thanksgiving, this one looked like a completely different ballgame. And it started off rather ugly. Not even 6 minutes into the game, and following an Adam Vinatieri field goal and a Teddy Bruschi pick 6 off of Joey Harrington, the Pats were already up 10-0. But even though the game was looking like it was going to be a blowout early on, and even though it was a 17-3 game at one point in the first half, to their credit, the Lions held their own. Tom Brady finished with no touchdowns, a 67.4 passer rating, and an interception in the red zone. New England was penalized 9 times, and even had a punt block that set the Lions up deep in New England territory. With the Lions down 20-9 in the fourth quarter, facing a 4th and 5 on New England's 27-yard line, Jason Hanson hits a 46-yard field goal to cut it to a 1-possession game. With 9 minutes and 50 seconds left in the game, Detroit is only down by 8. There is still plenty of time left, especially since the Lions had 2 timeouts. As long as you get a stop here and keep the Patriots off the scoreboard, the clock is not even remotely an issue here, not with 2/3 of the quarter still left. What's about to happen next might be the greatest drive in Thanksgiving history, because despite there being 10 minutes left on the clock, the Lions never touched the ball again. The Patriots went on what can only be described as one of the best drives I've ever seen. They went 4 for 4 on 3rd down, including 2 third-down conversions that were 3rd and 12. The official stats on the drive were 17 plays for 79 yards, taking up 9 minutes and 46 seconds. The only reason the Pats didn't score on the drive was because on the final play at Detroit's 1-yard line, Brady simply took a knee to run out the clock. And it might be funny to think about this now, but on this drive, Brady legitimately had one of the most athletic plays I've ever seen by a quarterback. At the very least, it has to be the most athletic play of his career. To put Robert Porcher in the spin cycle like that and dive for the first down on 3rd and 7 is amazing. And Porcher isn't some scrub defensive end. He's a 3-time Pro Bowler who played 12 years with the Lions, and was coming off of a 2001 campaign where he made the Pro Bowl and finished with 11 sacks. The Pats had a similar drive earlier in the year against the Jets, where in the second quarter of their Week 2 matchup, they had a 19-play drive that went 70 yards and ended in a field goal. But there's nothing quite like this, where they bled clock for the final 10 minutes and never let Detroit's offense touch the ball again. After the game, Bill Belichick said that the Pats were able to make the right plays at the right time, while Lions head coach Marty Mornhinweg, knowing that he was on the hot seat, was perplexed by the whole situation. He said, "I thought we'd get at least 2 more possessions down by 8 points, but they had all those 3rd down conversions, and it was terrible. It was like a slow death." Going on a 10-minute drive is impressive. Going on a 10-minute drive late in the fourth quarter in a 1-possession game and not letting your opponent ever touch the ball again? In the nearly 5,000 drives we've seen on this holiday, that, my friends, is the greatest drive in Thanksgiving history. Be sure to like this video, ring the notification bell, and subscribe down below if you haven't already, as it helps the channel out a lot. And be sure to check out Twitch every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern for your chance to play NFL trivia and win cash prizes. Link in the description below. If you want to see videos like this condensed down to 60 seconds, then follow me on TikTok at JaguarGator9 and subscribe to 60-Second NFL History on YouTube. Also, special thanks to all of our Patreon supporters for helping with the channel. Your support is greatly appreciated. See how you can become a patron and request future video topics in the description below.